To order the 22nd meeting of the Mayor and City Council meeting in regular session on Monday, December 10th. We'll have the invocation led by Reverend Warren H. Litchfield, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mayor Mo.
Almighty God, we gather this evening hour to conduct the business of the city. With our prayers for our mayor, for the president, for the members of the city council, and for all in authority. We commend to your gracious care and keeping all the men and women of our armed forces at home and abroad, our law enforcement community, and our fine rescue and thy people. Defend them day by day with your heavenly grace. Strengthen them in their trials and temptations. Give them courage to face the perils beset them. And may the peace of the holiday season be in our hearts. In your most holy and precious name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Rob, would you please call the roll?
Mr. DeWalt?
Here.
Mr. Sidnor?
Here.
Ms. Nicholas?
Here.
President Smalls?
Here.
Mayor Mo?
Here. Agenda item 2 is approval of minutes. We have the approval of minutes of the 21st meeting of November 26, 2018. Council, I'll entertain a motion if there are no corrections or edits.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes of the 21st meeting on November 26th.
Thank you, Councilman DeWalt. Is there a second?
A second, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Sidnor. Ms. Rao, call the roll.
Mr. DeWalt?
Yes.
Mr. Sidnor?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes. Also, under agenda item 2, approval of minutes of a closed session on Monday, November 26, 2018. Council, I'll again entertain a motion.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve the closed minutes for the closed session on Monday, November 26, 2018.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman DeWalt. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Rao, would you please call for the vote?
Mr. Sidnor?
Yes.
Mr. DeWalt?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
President Smalls?
I vote yes. And finally, approval of minutes of the work session on November 4th, 2018. If there are no changes or corrections, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve the minutes of the work session for December the 4th, 2018.
Thank you, Councilman Sidnor. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman DeWalt. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Mr. Sidnor?
Yes.
Mr. DeWalt?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas?
Abstain.
President Laz?
No.
I'm sorry, President Smalls.
She's absent.
President Smalls?
I vote yes. Agenda item 3 is a report of the Mayor and City Council. I'll report tonight that Councilman Les has been excused for tonight's meeting, and we'll start with Councilwoman Nicholas.
Thank you. I, along with my council colleagues and the mayor, attended the PGCMA legislative dinner. It was well attended. Got a lot of information from that meeting, and congratulate all of the people that were acknowledged. Also, this past Saturday, I went to trivia night, which was my first time going at the Olivers. I had a great time and learned a lot. Thank you.
Councilman DeWalt.
Saturday, December 1st, I walked with the other council members in the holiday parade. It was wet. It was cold. But the kids that came out and were along the parade route got a lot of candy because we had a lot to give out. But the reception at the Armory was really packed along with the tree lighting. On December 3rd, I attended the inauguration, and it's also a bit of history because Angela Brooks was the first female county executive ever elected in Prince George's County. And I also attended because of my good friend Tom Dernoga, who's a District 1 County Council member. Like Valerie just mentioned, the PGCMA, I attended that dinner down in Greenbelt. I also attended a trivia night at Oliver's, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of good times, and a lot of people attended, and you do learn a lot about Laurel trivia when you go there. Tomorrow night, I want to just tell everybody that the Planning Commission will be meeting at 7 p.m. and one of the topics I know is the Tasty Diner, and I'm sure a lot of my neighbors are going to be present at that meeting. And this weekend, on the 15th, at Ivy Hill Cemetery, they're going to have wreaths across America where I think it's close to almost 300 veterans are buried in Ivy Hill, and the wreaths, we have a ceremony here at City Hall at 11 o'clock, and we walk over to the cemetery and we lay the wreaths on these fallen soldiers. And then that same night at Oliver's, again, we're going to have a large fundraiser for a family. It's a woman with 5 kids. And I got a call from Maureen Rogers today that we're going to help out with her family that the Board of Trade adopted. So anybody that could come out, it's a lot of fun. It's at Oliver's. It starts at 6 and goes till about 9 o'clock. That's all my report, sir.
Thank you, Councilman DeWalt. Councilman Sidnor.
Thank you, Mr. President. On November 27th, it was Giving Tuesday. I partnered with a Heads Up Barbershop on 14703 Baltimore Avenue. We raised $350 and we delivered that money to Laurel Advocate Referral Center. And the executive director, Leah Palin, gave us a tour of the facility, the food pantry. Well, you can just walk in there from different days of the week and get food. Also, on November the 30th, I spoke to some students that made the principal honor roll at Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School. That honor roll was a GPA of 4.0. I want to thank the mail office for giving pencils to the students. That was very fun doing that. Also, on December 1st, I attended a holiday parade with the rest of my colleagues, council members, and the mayor. And also on December the 5th, I attended the legislation dinner with my colleagues as well. And on December 6th, I attended the public lighting at the Laurel Library. And also on December 8th, this is some history. I just want to brag about my Navy. First of all, congratulations, Councilman Small. The Army beat the Navy this past weekend, the Army-Navy game. But this is 118th game. The Navy won 60 of those games. The Army won 51 of those games. 7 ties. So the first game was played on November 29th, 1890, and the Navy beat the Army 24-0. But the last 3 years that the Army won, so we got some catching up to do. That concludes my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
The Navy. Thank you, Councilman Sidnor. I attended many of the events that my colleagues did, so I won't bother to repeat that. But I will talk just a brief bit about the PGCMA legislative dinner. One of the things that I would like to see, and I talked to the president of PGCMA afterwards, is something we did when I was closely involved with PGCMA several years ago, and that was take our agenda on the road, bring it to as many of our municipalities to their meetings as possible. The president thought that was an excellent idea, and I look forward to her putting that as part of her agenda and hopefully making a stop here in Laurel. I want to share with everyone just a personal experience I had this morning. I was sitting in the Jiffy Lube on Route 1 getting oil changed in my car, and there was a young woman there, couldn't have been any more than 35 years old, who was having a conversation with someone on the phone, and as she was explaining to them that she was homeless, that she and her family were sleeping in their car, she didn't know how she was going to make ends meet. She had gone to LARS, she had gone to other groups and organizations and churches seeking some help. She didn't have a job. I reached in my pocket and I gave her a $20 bill I had in my pocket. But it just brought to mind in this time of year, this season, as much joy and cheer as we like to spread. There are those who have far less than we do. And I'd just like to encourage us all to keep those folks in mind as we share our joy during the holiday period season. That's my report, Mayor Mo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Condolences to the family and friends of Sue Poe from the Welford family. Sue passed away. We did honor and her memory and lowering the flags. And I think there's a service that'll be coming up this way. I'm sorry, I don't have it with me. But her service will be, memorial service will be coming up here within the next week. On November the 14th, the Laurel Board of Trade did have their membership meeting and dinner. I want to thank them for the opportunity to attend, and congratulations to the new officers. We did host a Stop the Bleed training event at the Barkman Kaiser Public Safety Complex. Very good attendance. We hope to do more of those and get people involved within the community on Stop the Bleed, CPR, and the AED training. I did get an invitation from the American Cancer Society to attend a social that they had down on C Street at the C Street Flats on the 28th, and thank them for the opportunity and appreciate that invitation. The December the 1st, has been a while, and sorry I missed it. The breakfast with Santa. Again, I heard it was again a great turnout, and appreciate the work that our Department of Park and Recreation is doing, the volunteers that participate. As you heard on the 1st, we had our holiday festival and parade, and we had the Laurel Armory, Anderson Murphy Community Center lighting, as well as the tree and Main Street area. So I want to thank all those that came out. Thank, again, our Department of Park and Recs, Joanne, your staff, again, did a great job, and our Police Department Public Work for making it safe so we could walk down the street. With all the bad weather and how cold it was, we still had a very good turnout, and a lot of new ideas, a lot of different things that the Department of Park and Recreation has put together. So I think turned out very well. I did have the opportunity to attend the inaugural ceremony for our new exec and council members. I'm very happy to say that our new executive, their remarks after her swearing in were just one about coming together, working together, what's best for the Prince George's County and the community, and I think that says a lot about her. Our councilman from District 1, Tom Dernoga, was also sworn in, and this year is a little bit different. Had the 2 at-large members as well, so we congratulate all of them and wish them the very best. Look forward to working with them. The Board of Trade did have their holiday luncheon. Again, appreciate that invitation to be with them, and you heard about the legislative dinner. We did have the public menorah lighting down at the Laurel Library, and again, council members were there and appreciate the invitation to be with them as well. Laurel Volunteer Fire Department, Laurel Rescue Squad, over the weekend did a fill the truck. I think I saw some cash donations when I stopped down there. People were pulling over at the rescue squad, giving money. Actually, some of our police officers were there helping out. It was a cold day, but they all participated, and all that funding, all the food, and all the gifts that they got all stays local. So again, I want to thank all of them for their hard work. Today we did host the City of Rockville again. Some of the council members and staff talked about our emergency operations center in the back. They are looking to do some things, and gave them some ideas. So we appreciate them coming over again today, and Steve Allen for putting that all together. Just a couple announcements. Starting at 1 p.m. On December the 14th, city offices will close for the employee holiday party. On December the 15th, as you heard, the Reeves Across America ceremony at the Laurel Municipal Center will take place here at 11 a.m. From there, then we'll all walk over to the Ivy Hill Cemetery. But the American Legion, the city, the Ivy Hill, many others who really worked hard to put this together. I think it's a great program, so I'm hopeful we continue this and work with everybody to make sure it happens each year. On December the 25th, city offices are closed for Christmas, and on January the 1st, 2019, city offices will be closed as well for New Year's Day. Mr. President, I have a couple of mayoral appointments because I need one of them to get back home to his family, so I'd like to go ahead and provide you with those names. Marty A. Flemion to the Public Safety and Transportation Committee. Marty's in the audience. For those that may not recognize him, he is sitting in the third row back. And then Angela O'Neill to the Arts Council. And Angela's in the back as well. And appreciate Angela and Marty for accepting these positions. And I'd ask for your confirmation.
Thank you, Mayor. What's the pleasure of the council?
With delight, I make a motion to approve Marty Flemion and to the Angela O'Neill to the Arts Council, Marty Flemion to the Public Safety and Transportation with much delight.
Thank you, Councilwoman Nicholas. Is there a second?
I second, Mr. President, both candidates.
Thank you, Councilman Sidnor. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Ms. Nicholas?
Yes.
Mr. Sidnor?
Yes.
Mr. DeWalt?
With delight, I'll vote yes.
President Smalls?
Even more delight. I'll vote yes as well.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one last thing I did forget. I want to remind everybody that we are doing food, non-perishable foods here at all the city buildings. If you want to drop off, all that goes to locally here to the Laurel's with their food pantry. So that concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor. Agenda item 5 is the general public hearing. I will open the general public hearing at 7:16. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak on the general public hearing? I will close the general public hearing at 7:16. Agenda item 6. Introduction to first public hearing on ordinance number 1934. An ordinance to amend the general operating budget and capital improvement program of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland for fiscal year July 1, 2018 through June 30, 2019. Ms. Saylor.
Mr. President, we discussed this ordinance at the work session last week. This will provide allocations of insurance proceeds, the recognition of the Laurel 4th of July Committee financial activities, savings in the election budget, additional coverage for Laurel TV community events, and the federal grants that were awarded for the hazard mitigation project, as well as a transfer in the major facility maintenance project between the Robert J. DePietro Community Center and the Armory Community Center. There's an overall increase in the operating budget of $30,451. One correction I did have since the work session was that the $4,312 of the insurance proceeds for the totaled vehicle should also be recognized on page 4, being added to the fleet project. So that's an overall increase in the FY19 capital improvement program of $118,062. And that's the $113,750 in federal grant for the hazard mitigation project and the $4,312, $12 in insurance proceeds being added to the fleet acquisition project.
The long pause means that.
I'm sorry.
Council read the title into the record for the first reading. I'll open the public hearing at 7:19. I have no one signed up to speak on this agenda item. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:19. And council, I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules.
I make a motion to suspend the rules on ordinance number 1934.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? Ms. Rao, please call the roll on suspension of the rule.
Ms. Nicholas,
Yes.
Mr. DeWalt,
Yes.
Mr. Sidnor,
Yes.
President Smalls.
I vote yes. Now, Councilwoman Nicholas, would you make a motion to approve the ordinance?
Yes. I make a motion to approve the ordinance.
Second? Councilman DeWalt?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? Ms. Rao, please call the roll.
Ms. Nicholas,
Yes.
Mr. DeWalt,
Yes.
Mr. Sidnor,
Yes.
President Smalls,
I vote yes.
Mayor Mo.
And I'll concur, and I want to thank Michelle and her staff for putting together this information to keep us balanced. Thank you.
Thank you. Item B, introduction and first public hearing on resolution number 6-18, a resolution to establish the City of Laurel's 150th Anniversary Committee and to provide for its membership and responsibilities. Read the title into the record. I'll open the public hearing at 7:21. I have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this agenda item? Seeing no one, council, I will close the public hearing at 7:21 and entertain a motion to suspend the rule.
President, I make a motion to suspend the rules of resolution number 6-18.
Thank you, Councilman Sidner. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman DeWalt. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Rao, call the roll on suspension.
Mr. Sidnor,
Yes.
Mr. DeWalt,
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas,
Yes.
President Smalls.
I vote yes. Councilman Sidnor, would you make a motion to approve?
Yes, Mr. President, I make a motion to approve resolution number 6-18.
Thank you. Councilman DeWalt, would you second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Ms. Rao, call the roll, please.
Mr. Sidnor,
Yes.
Mr. DeWalt,
Yes.
Ms. Nicholas,
Yes.
President Smalls,
I vote yes.
Mayor Mo.
Want to thank the council for suspending the rules on both of these, getting it cleaned up. Council, anybody tomorrow, is it 11 o'clock? I concur with this, but tomorrow we are having a little get together at 11 o'clock if any of the council want to stop by regarding the planning. And I'll concur.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there any other business to come before the mayor and city council? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Is it 11 o'clock?